Gbadebo Chinedu Roads Vival has decided to take APC Sanwolu to the court. This is the same that happened during the presidential election, where Peter Obi said this results pronounced by Inec is a sham. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the president. Show us the process. Now, Gbadebo Roads is even making it much more louder. He's saying that there is no way Sanwolu would have won the election. He said, look at the streets. People do not want Sanwolu. They want me. How true this is, the court will decide. Now, Gbadebo Roads claimed that the elections never happened. He said this is a sham of an election. He claimed that polling units were disrupted, agberos and thugs all over the streets. Now, we saw a video, if you've been on this channel, of Gbadebo visiting a certain part of Lagos State. And we saw what happened. He was chased out. The DSS, according to him, had to protect him. They had to kind of find a way to protect him so as not to be a target. Gbadebo is saying that the streets want him. Now, it is clear that there are people who are in support of APC and there are people who are in support of other parties and, of course, support of Labour Party. That does not mean everybody is in support of Gbadebo Chinedu Roads Vival. Now, we will be listening to what he has to say about the case being taken to the tribunal, taken to the court. He said Sanwolu will not be governor of Lagos State. He said enough is enough. We have to put an end to this. Let us quickly listen. This man is spitting fire from his mouth. It's like something is about to happen in Lagos State. What are your thoughts about it? I want you to drop it in the comment section as you listen. Don't forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new here.
Our message from when we first started and still till today, both His Excellency Peter Obi and myself, has always been about empathy, love, good governance that is both open and accountable. Yesterday, I spent my day visiting victims of Saturday's state-backed terrorism and violence. From Abule Ado to Surulere to Apapa to Ikeja, I met with young men and women that had bullets lodged in their chin, in their face. Just as about to come and take a seat here, I was told that one of our polling agents from Ward K1 in Trade Fair just passed away. I saw people with lacerations, cut all over their body, young men with fractured legs that we had to pay over 800,000 for their surgery. And I want to take this moment to reach out to all of these people that in spite of all the attempts to put fear in them, they stood against it and came out in hope and courage. That I am with you. We are with you. Myself, my deputy governor, the party, we are together, we are with you, we are by your side. And it is not just lip service. Today we launched the platform called grvcares2023.com. Please, anyone that has been a victim of electoral violence, log onto this website, upload evidence of this violence, upload your hospital bills, upload a police report if you have it, and we will offset your hospital bills. Because empathy and love is not just lip service, it's in the action. Love is action. And for people that came out in hope and courage, we are going to show that we stand by you, we value you, and we appreciate you. Yesterday, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu called for healing. But healing cannot happen without justice. The APC unleashed evil on Lagosians, spiritually with their fetish diabolic rites that were done during the day, and physically with violence that was unleashed on all Lagosians. There's an attempt to make this seem as though it was a Yoruba versus Igbo situation, and it was limited to certain areas, but it was widespread across the whole of Lagos, from Koshofe to Shomolu to Ikeja. Everybody was affected. Everybody was disenfranchised. Yeah, they want peace, but it's not really peace that they want. They want the peace of a graveyard. They want healing without addressing the issues of bringing justice, so they want the healing of the dead. The thrust of my message is not to the evil cult organization of the APC, but it is to the indigenous Lagosians and Lagosians at large. We cannot afford to have an agberocracy, a militant type of government in Lagos State. We all believe that we have gone past this type of politics. We all believe that democracy has been deepened. But we saw not just violence and diabolic means of trying to restrain and belittle the people of Lagos to create a one-party state, all the way from Ikoyi to Ikeja to Ikorodu, were all disenfranchised. They could not campaign based on their past record, so they stoked ethnic strife. For the ambition of one man and his cult, the entire credibility that Inec had built over the last 4 years was ripped into shreds in one day. For the ambition of one man and his cult, we saw our traditional institutions reduced to pawns, to tools, or rites that were supposed to be done at night and witnessed by only the people that have been initiated into the Oro institution, was being done during the day, invoking in broad daylight the spell that Senator Tinubu and his cult have used to keep Lagos bound. There was no election in Lagos State. It was violence at multiple levels, physically and diabolically. On this ambition, they sowed seeds that potentially can lead to things that we have seen in other countries like the Rwandan genocide. Seeds of discord, seeds that othered our neighbors and people that we have known and have balance and harmony in this state. My dear Lagosians, our enemy is not, they are not our neighbors or our visitors or fellow Lagosians, regardless of their diverse tongues. Our common enemy is violence, insecurity, poverty, stagnation, corruption, and underdevelopment. And the same people responsible for all the things I've listed weaponize poverty and ethnicity to distract us from their evil endeavors and diabolical activities. And we cannot be silent. It is enough of the worst of us defining the rest of us. On Saturday, we saw the APC's vision for Lagos, an agberocracy, a government by the agberos, for the agberos, and for the thugs and people that choose to suppress the good people of Lagos.
That was Rhodes Vival, Gbadebo Chinedu. Well, he has expressed himself, and everyone has the right to express themselves in a democracy, as we call it. He has expressed all that he feels inside of him. He has talked about love and empathy, and he also talked about the anomalies that he saw, that a lot of people saw during the elections. But it is not just Lagos, but he's concerned about Lagos State since he's contesting for governorship in Lagos State. But there are certain things that I believe Gbadebo Rhodes did not see into. He's talking about collective. Let us all work together. This is a cosmopolitan. We have Igbos, we have all tribes in this Lagos State. Let us make it inclusive. But he should have realized that Lagos is Yoruba land, and there are people who are concerned, people who are sensitive to certain things. And I think what he said, there are certain things that Gbadebo Chinedu said, and I won't blame him. He has an Igbo mother that might be, she's from Anambra State. And maybe our personality is a little bit vivacious and a little bit, And maybe the influence of the mother, was so much on him. He cannot even speak Yoruba, even though he did not live in Anambra State. He lived in Lagos State. His father is Yoruba, yet he can't speak Yoruba. Probably because Yoruba was not spoken at home. His father could not speak Yoruba with them. Being that English would be the general language spoken at home. When you marry someone who is not from your tribe, you just have to pick one language that everybody understands, and that's what happened. He probably spoke, English, and maybe he understands a little of Yoruba here and there, and maybe Igbo more. I don't know. Now, having said that, that should not be a criteria according to some people, but nevertheless, we need to take note of certain things. Most of the tweets, that's why it's very important that we are careful of what we say. Most of the tweets that people brought out about Gbadebo, Chinedu roads, spoke much more about division. He called a Yoruba person Afonja in a derogatory manner. He said certain things that made people realize that this man, you are not Yoruba centric. You cannot be governor of Lagos State, a Yoruba state, with this narrative of Lagos is no man's land, and you are pushing a kind of I don't think in Yoruba. Once he said that on TV, I knew that this guy needs to grow up a little bit. You need to understand how politics work. Even if you have an Igbo mother, you cannot come on TV, national TV. What you think should be kept inside of you, because what you are thinking does not necessarily mean right, or does not mean this is the right time to say that. You say, I don't even think Yoruba. Who says that? And you want to be governor of Yoruba people. When you know that a majority of the people in Lagos State are Yoruba, they will set aside, APC is this, APC is that, and vote for their own. You need to understand that tribe is still important in Nigeria, and everywhere. Race is important. Even in the face of wickedness, you will see people of the same race supporting themselves against someone who is oppressed. Go abroad, go and see. You will see them supporting themselves even when they know that racism is being pushed out on someone who is helpless. They will still support themselves. So you need to understand that this is still the human phase that we are in at this time. Saying that you don't think Yoruba, you don't speak Yoruba, calling people Afonja, Yoruba Afonja, saying typical Yoruba behavior. Once you begin to speak that way, you should know that you are on your own. You'll be governor of Rhodes Vivos family. Because calling Lagos State a cosmopolitan state is all right. We have a lot of tribes there. But you should understand that you cannot spite the majority, the owner of the land, hoping that you will be governor. No, it doesn't work that way. You should understand the kind of way the people that you are dealing with operate. They would have forgiven you. Let's say you have a good thing to offer them. They would have forgiven you if it was something else about you cannot speak Yoruba language. It would have been different. Unfortunately, you did not flow in that way. You should have attached yourself more to the Yoruba aspect, Yoruba part. If you had done that, maybe, doesn't matter whatever intention you have, either good, they will not vote for you. I believe this is what prompted a lot of people to come out en masse. We saw parts of Lagos State, people who did not care to vote before, people who voted for Peter Obi, when they heard Lagos is no man's land, that tribal instinct woke up in them. And they said, no, are we going to sleep? And we started hearing, Lagos will not be controlled, ruled from Anambra State. You see, these are some of the things that worked against, apart from ballot boxes being broken into. This has always been what we know in Nigeria. Or has there been any election where ballot boxes were not stolen, broken into, all the way from Rivers down to Lagos, down to wherever? It has always been a pattern. We are not just going to seclude Lagos State and say, oh, it is just Lagos State they stole because they have Agbero. What about Rivers? What about many other states? As the more viable a state is, the more violence, competition, unhealthy you will find there. That's just the truth. I'm not saying this is right, but Gbadebo Rose can never claim that he won that election. Why? At the last minute, there are some vituperations, setting narratives, setting things that worked against him. End of story. Nothing more, nothing less. It worked against him. It really worked against him. You cannot say you want to be governor of a state. All states in Nigeria are tribal. It doesn't matter if it is Lagos State that accommodated or embraced people. There are people who are still indigenous to that land. And if you claim that a part of you is from that land, if you want to be their governor, we are not talking about president. If you want to be president, different. I think you didn't get the script right. If you want to be president of Nigeria, then you don't speak tribe. You speak all languages. You reflect all parts of Nigeria. But if you want to be governor of a state, you have to be specific. You have to be tribal. I am a Yoruba man. Yoruba people are great. Yoruba people are this. We have accommodated people. Even my father was so accommodating. I think this young man did not understand the narrative properly. Maybe he doesn't understand what Lagos is no man lands mean to a lot of Yoruba people in Lagos State. He should have said words like that. My father is Yoruba. He was so accommodating that he married my mother, an Igbo woman. We not just to talk, I'm an embodiment of this, I'm an embodiment, I am an embodiment. My father is Yoruba, my mother is Igbo, I'm an embodiment of what Lagos is. I do understand that he wants to carry along, but you cannot. You have to be specific. You have to be tribal here. I'm a Yoruba man, my father is this. This would have probably given hope, because people need to trust you. Like, are we giving this to an Igbo boy or a Yoruba boy? That's it. And I think that's what worked against him really bad. What are your thoughts about this one? Let us know that in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new here.